What's happening, everybody? What's going on? Welcome back. Good afternoon. It's another day in paradise out there. One word to sum up the day. Mike said it best before the show. Barcoding. It's an ugly day out there today. Unless you're trading oil.
Ugly.
Yeah, it's an ugly day.
Ugly, man.
Ugly.
Had some decent trades, but ugly. And it got ugly a lot quicker than normal. I mean, like 9:45, it was freaking barcoding.
Yeah. I mean, unless you were trading oil, which I had a great short call out on. Did I take it? No, I didn't. But it was, it was an ugly day. I mean, you even had some shake up of some inflation data come out. You had some OPEC news, some Bank of England news, and it's just nope. Everything's waiting for CPI tomorrow. But
yeah, I mean, look, you got the main card, right? We're in a fight. You got the main card tomorrow. Everybody's waiting for that. But, the undercard wasn't too bad. The undercard, not bad. I mean, that's what we had today, which was PPI. Why don't you tell us how PPI went, Ty?
Yeah, headline came in twice the expectation. I mean, it was expected 0.2% increase, 0.4% increase. So, main driver I think was food, right? But PPI came in hot. Core came in line at 0.3% as expected. But yeah, I mean, headline PPI with energy and food came in, of course, hot.
Hot, baby, hot. And you know what? How are you going to have a light CPI if PPI is hot?
Yeah, because this is going to just push over to the consumers. If they're not going to eat the cost, so now you can expect there to be a hot CPI.
Well, and that's the issue, Ty. And PPI had basically gone down for 2 months in a row, and now you got an upswing in this, and so the market did not react kindly and proceeded to sell off on that news. So it didn't sell off bad. I mean, look, PPI is important, but CPI is what everybody's holding off for. So, and seeing the action die so early basically tells you that traders are pretty well positioned already for the inflation print tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely doesn't help the Fed pivot narrative as far as we're most likely going to stick with their 75 basis point and march on. But again, we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
and overnight, I mean, I'll tell you what. Did I tell you? Bank of England is what you had to watch. Now everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. The gilt. Tyler, the gilt.
Yeah.
What's the gilt doing, baby?
At midnight last night, I didn't look at the charts at midnight, but I wake up, I'm like, what the hell did the pound do? It's just a nasty spike. And I look, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Bank of England signaled privately to bankers it may extend bond buying. So,
bullshit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's all. Look, Friday's the deadline, right? So they're trying to fucking blow smoke 2 days before. Like, come on. What do you?
Well, what happened, and I'll pull up the charts on this, right? What happened was we had a rug pull after we got off the show, and neither one of us saw it because we didn't trade after the show. We told everybody just go home.
Yep.
Right? Don't get chopped up. And it's a good thing because there was a nice little rug pull. And if I pull up the 1 minute here, that's not going to work. Hold on one second. Let me pull up the trade tab. There we go. This nice little rug pull, courteous to Mr. Bailey at the Bank of England, basically saying, nope, nada. We are not going to extend the deadline. And of course, the guild, pushed up dramatically, pretty much back to where it was in crisis mode. But today, kind of calming down a little bit, and they you did have that spike up in futures right up in here. This spike up in futures was basically the result of the FT report, Financial Times report, stating that privately they have told bankers that they are going to extend it. So we told you yesterday that's going to be a big, coming into Friday, grab your popcorn because that's going to be a big deal. They kind of painted themselves into a corner. What I'm kind of worried about, what you should be worried about as a trader, is that it appears there's a pissing match going on with Truss in the new government and the Bank of England. Of course, Truss didn't have many nice things to say about the Bank of England coming into the position. And so now what you have is you have a possible, staring contest. And it appears the Bank of England's just basically in a game of chicken and going to say, okay, well, if the pension funds blow out on Friday into next week, well, guess what? It's going to be up to the government now to do the moral hazard and to take care of the pensions and bail them out. So just a shit show what's going on over in the UK. And it's something that you need to pay attention to if you're a trader, okay? Because all 95% of the traders' eyes now are all on CPI, rightfully so, which comes in tomorrow morning. But this Bank of England and what goes on with the guild and what goes on with the pension funds, we went down when Lehman crashed and then the Fed stepped in and, Lehman went out, obviously, over here back in 2008. We proceeded to go down another 38%. Okay, so you don't want to see a crisis over in the UK because it's not going to be just specific to the UK. It's going to spill over here. So choppy waters, something to keep an eye out for. If you're a trader, Friday's the deadline. Going to be a lot of jostling around, and the Bank of England has painted themselves into a corner right now. It's be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely going to see what happens Friday. That's for sure. So
yeah, without a doubt. And sorry about that. Let's go in now and pull up the weekly SPY. So the level that I told you guys to watch, it's still the level to kind of watch in here, is this 200 moving average. It's at 359.15. We're below it right now in the SPY. So, the bulls, they're looking to kind of hang in here, right? This is, we showed the chart back in 2018. Last time we were back in 2018, let's expand this so we can show it again. If you're a bull, this is the line of defense that you're kind of fighting with, right? Because back in 2018, and we'll kind of zoom in here, after we came out of our crisis of, providing liquidity and the Fed raising rates, this was the line of defense right here on the weekly chart. So and you can see, they were kind of jostling around in here, but this was the line of defense. This is what you're hoping for if you're a bull right now going forward. So that's why you want to see a bounce out of this area. You don't want to see us lose and head back down to 340, or else you got a pretty far way. There's a lot of open air to the bottom.
Yeah.
Look at daily chart. Really look at this. I mean, you can hardly see that. I got to get my glasses out. We've hardly moved today. I called out in Discord. I said, look, we're going to be stuck in a range until CPI. I didn't know it was going to be this tight of a range, but we are in that range. We're not moving. We're stuck here. If you look at the 4-hour chart, Ty, what are you looking at? What kind of sticks out to you right now?
Yeah, kind of going to be a different story once CPI comes out. But I mean, this, if we've been seeing this previous June low, this is where the last touch on the weekly trend line is that we had broken here. And so this is now, where we've been kind of pinned against. And so come CPI, I think we'll get the confirmation whether we're going to break these lows and head down and we respect this level here, or we're going to break higher and come back up to retest, these highs here. So kind of just pinned in this level here that we're watching.
Yeah, and you can see that's a good, we are pinned to the level. We kind of got some declining tops in here. You have this 362.17 level we've been highlighting forever, it seems. And that's the June lows. So you get a nice break of this trend line, get a break of this, get a positive CPI print, then I think if for some reason the CPI print was to come in better than expected, I think you see a run up to possibly the 380, 382 level.
Yeah. So
now if it comes in worse than expected, I mean, look, Cathie board the doors. I mean, we're going to be headed towards that 340 level relatively quickly. Definitely be printing new lows on the way down. So tomorrow, obviously a pretty big level, and as we get into FOMC minutes, and that's another thing that we had today that we really didn't talk about. A lot of traders don't want to even trade in front of today's 2 o'clock print of the FOMC minutes. And, a lot of people say, well, Mike, why do we care about the FOMC minutes? That meeting's already happened. It's because it gives you another piece of information. Now, the FOMC minutes typically are more clearing events rather than fundamentally driven news events. So you can kind of trade it as such. We just got to get through it. So a lot of that's creating the dead air that we're seeing. If you look on the 15-minute chart, Ty, it's interesting. We kind of fell. You see this island right here that I've been talking about. Let me take off that moving average right there, and it's easier to see. This is a island, diamond-shaped island that we kind of fell out of. Well, we're kind of forming another diamond in here, aren't we?
Yeah.
So very eerie, very similar to what we saw and what we fell out of from the upper time frame. So you can kind of see, you can kind of draw this diamond in here as such, and it's going to be something, definitely we're coiling in here without a doubt. And I think it definitely is going to have a play into direction. So don't fight the Fed. Don't sit there and try to predict. Just see which way we break out of the diamond. And, we got some nice action to look at. Intraday, I mean, here's the bar coding I've been talking about. Look at VWAP, pretty much flat. I mean, right in here, pre-market, okay, this all based off the banking one.
Yep.
Okay. All based off the banking one, which was refuted. So really just that action, throw it away. This is the action that we've been kind of looking at. And this is what I'm talking about. 945. Look at this. That's it. I mean, just ridiculous. The range. Look, if you look at the ATR, you can see up the top corner. I have the ATR printed. We're only done 43% of the SPY's ATR. And you can see a little bit more pronounced in the ES. This is the 200. I believe the 200's around here somewhere. The weekly 200 that we've been, it's kind of, just breaking through, coming in, breaking through. So you can see that in the SPY. Tech's in no man's land. Tech, rates going up or staying elevated. Tech is going to stay down. I mean, we showed you this before. This is the tip. This is real rates, and the tip continues to head down. You can see when there's any dislocations in the tip ETF 2Qs, they typically resolve themselves in the direction of the tip. And we talked about this, and you can see this one in here where if you're following that relationship, the real rates is what the tip is, and it's at lows and heading lower. The Qs typically, you can pretty much see that they're forecasting around 240, 220 for the Qs to eventually reallocate itself to where the tip is. So just be careful of that. Small caps, man, are stubborn, right? I mean, look at the small caps. If you're a bull, we talked about, what the thesis on technical side on the SPY holding the 200 weekly moving average. Well, if you look here, this is another feather in your cap, right? You got small caps that are making higher lows in here. So, not even down by, have yet to pierce June lows at any point this time. So the 52-week low sitting in the lows they printed in June. So that's definitely a feather, maybe a divergence. But anyhow, you're still in an active sequence to the downside since August. I mean, since we broke through here and you had the 9 and 21 kind of line themselves. I mean, you had a break of the 21 here, but ever since then, you got right back under it. The 9's been the lid, a break of the 21 here. But again, the 9's been the lid. So still in an active sequence to the downside, but you are making a little bit higher lows. ES, this is the security. Now, I want to show you guys something. Okay, and I've done a video on this, and this is how we trade news events. But Ty, I think it's important to do it again, right? Using Fibonacci. So what we did, and this just amazing to me how well this works. If you look at this, this is the pre-market action. Okay, so going into the PPI, here's where we pretty much fell from, and we call that what, Ty?
The scene of the crime.
Scene of the crime, right? And so we had this PPI news event. So not bad, right? Not bad drop considering. I mean, we didn't really, they didn't push us anywhere we haven't been over the last 4 or 5 days. So pretty much holding us in here. But if you look here, okay, what you do is, it based right here. And so what you do is you draw Fibonacci from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top. I always get confused which way I draw those effing things. But it doesn't matter. Because the two key levels you want to look at is the 50% retracement and the 61.8% retracement. And if you kind of look in here, these levels really line up perfectly as great trading results. So if you look here, Ty, great bounce off of the bottom. This gave us a really good trade up into here. And then you see this little wick? Got rejected at the 50% retracement, sent us right on down and down to lows. And then they tried to get us above the 50% again. What happened? Smack, 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 smack. So I find it interesting. First off, it gives you a really, really good reference point to trade news events. It works really well. And if you look at this, every time, if you're buying breakouts in this market, and pretty much you learn, okay, I mean, this is nasty. Tell me this is just not, this is just dirty. Wrong.
It's dirty.
That's wrong. I mean, think about all the traders. Oh, we're finally breaking out. We're hitting the 52-week high. We're finally breaking out. What do? Fucking 6 minutes later, you're at lows. That's just nasty action. You don't have an edge in that. But every time, great opportunity to short, great opportunity to short, great opportunity to short, great opportunity to short, right off that. And if you look at this, flat VWAP. So, this is a day of chop. Don't get yourself caught chopping wood. But we did have some good trades in the pre-market based off of using our news event strategy. So it works really well. It's works really good. And Mal saying it also happens to be the lower bound of the 30-minute Ichimoku cloud. And it typically all kind of works out that way. So, don't be looking for anything. I still think we may get a squeeze into the open, into the close. The reason I think we may get a squeeze into the close is because you got people that will be closing out their shorts going into a major event. So they got to buy those shares up. We've had some pretty nasty sell imbalances at 350. So maybe we get another late night rug pull possible as well. So just be on guard. But, there's no reason trading any of this shit. Wait till you got an edge. VIX, what's the VIX telling you, Ty?
I was talking to Borderline about this on my show here, and last time we were at this area, we had a little pullback and a second retest, and it faded. This time we're back here. We have a second retest, and so now, are we going to fade like everything, like we've been doing at this area here, or if we really break this 35 highs here, I mean, maybe we get a little bit of a squeeze, but I don't know. I mean, as far as where we're at here, it kind of seems like I'm going to have another fade from this area here. unless we get some type of news event that finally gets the market into capitulation and the VIX spikes. But until then, I think it fades from here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hope it fades, because if not, we may finally get that selling capitulation that we were looking for. That, you know, and again, we talked about it. And if you look at the VIX, let's go to a monthly chart. Let's go to a time frame, max available. Okay, so the capitulation, if you're looking for, you know, capitulation on big, you know, bear markets, typically around 45. Okay, 45 is where you typically get it, or higher. So you can see going into the, you know, we had some capitulation in here into 2002. If you look at 2008, we had some capitulation finally a couple times in here where the selling abated. The pandemic, you know, we had capitulation up here. So we really haven't seen that out of this market. We haven't gotten up even above 40 in this last go round. So, you know, if you're following it, everybody likes to use the 2002 comparison to where the markets are now. Well, if you're using 2002 comparison, well, the VIX, you know, you got to look at the VIX, and the VIX was pretty much, you know, 47, 48, 50 area. So you got to look at that as well. So we had, that's what they mean when you hear people talking about, well, we haven't seen capitulation yet for a bottom of the bear market. 10 year, well, you know, it's, there it is, high. You know, yeah, it's down, but I mean, is it really down? I'm just waiting for that. It's waiting for that 4% level to pop, just like a big old cherry.
I know.
What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, the 1 hour time frame I'm looking at, because it kind of seems like something that I've noticed in the past, as far as like it's something that's also has, you know, thing is typical price action to where so if you scroll in from like here over, because I'm gonna get in close time frame here. So we're sitting at, you know, this is the obvious, you know, recent high until we hit 4. And so now what we're doing is we're sitting here flagging right underneath that high. And so all it needs is that little bit of news or volume to spike it through these highs to 4. So we're kind of doing a bull flag right under these highs here. And so if we give up, like, you know, this bottom here, then I think maybe we see an extended pullback and we filter back down towards 360. But right now it seems like we're flagging up to push through 4. So
yeah, I agree, and it's pretty much set up. So as you know, we've been using rates as, you know, over the last 5 days, oh, rates broke lows, I'm buying stock. Oh, it went up, I'm selling. And it really is correlated really well with market price and scalping. So that correlation's not going to last forever, but right now it's really giving you a nice little edge. Now the third member of the horsemen, I know you're going to talk about the dollar. You know, we'll see what happens there. I'm curious about your analysis as we get another wipeout bar below this 3,600. You gotta love this market. Gotta love this market. So just be careful. So Tyler, but on that note, I really, you know, the dollar is so important, and we know it's really, you know, the thing with the dollar is, and people don't realize, it's very mechanical in that, you know, if you're going to get the pound or the euro doing something, it's going to have an effect on the dollar no matter what, you know, inflows versus outflows are, because there's a formula based upon how it's calculated. So it's kind of trades like sort of a mutual fund type thing.
Yeah, right. And so kind of it gave you, I guess, a good indication on price action this morning, at least for gold. Got a little bit of a movement on gold and oil, but I was looking at intraday charts in here, and we had a really nice breakout this morning from this wedge we were pushing into. So it kind of gave us good trading opportunities this morning. But looking at the higher time frames, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, notably the 1 hour I'm looking at for the Dixie. So we had these 113 lows that I've been talking about. As far as, you know, we break 113 lows, you're going to get some selling pressure come in, and that's it. Well, looking at 113 is where we had this retest here that we talked about yesterday. Closed back above, big rejection wick of that 112 breakout. And so now what is this? This is a fake out of 113, and we're seeing the low of today is supporting that thesis. The low of 113, buying pressure comes in. And so now what we're doing is we're filtering right underneath this 113.70 area, this previous pivot point back in September. And so doing what we do in front of CPI, we do this all the time. As we sit here, we find a level we want to consolidate at. Now we're consolidating in this zone here. And then we'll break out one way or the other. I'm leaning more bullish on this, assuming that we get a hot CPI print, which is likely. And so now that we're flagging near highs here, and we're flagging right at important levels at 113, we already did our grab to the downside. And so now it seems like we're maintaining this bullish flag to then continue higher towards 115. But you have my levels, 113, 113.60, or 113.70 are the two levels I'm watching as far as bullish and bearish price action, as far as who is going to be in temporary control on this breakout here. So, but you know, probably see that flag into tomorrow's CPI print.
Yeah, I mean, what's do you have rates? Are you going to pull up rates?
Right here.
I'm curious. Yeah, what's the guild doing?
Oh, the guild, yeah. So the guild was sitting here, and it reached the highs overnight based off of the Bank of England situation, but now we've filtered back down towards really the open, and we've cleared that move basically. So I don't know if it's people thinking that okay, it's bullshit, and they're not going to extend the bond buying, or they're going to. But right now, what we're kind of seeing here, and technicals aren't as prominent; it's more fundamentals. But we're kind of seeing a rejection of the highs here at this 510, and we're filtering off. So big thing is I don't think we fall off from here. I think we at least maintain consolidation at these highs. And then Friday is going to determine, like we talk about, are we going to break through 510 and they're saying, fuck the guild and this thing's going through highs? Or do they extend it and this thing comes all the way back down towards like 370? So going to be interesting. It is falling off a little bit today, pulling back down towards the open.
Yeah, which I find interesting, because they're pretty much drawing that hard line, which maybe the crisis won't be as bad, but we'll have to see. Yeah. It's just interesting that that's kind of filtering there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely watched 470. 470 is where we, after that big drop here, where they announced the bond buying. That's where the pivot point was on the way back up, and so now. 470 is the area I'm going to want to watch. If we hold it, great, then we're heading back up. If we break it, could see some further downside action in it.
Gotcha.
Gold is absolutely just, you think that the ES is barcoding. Brother, let me tell you something. Look at this gold price action here.
I don't want to look at it. Gold's never sexy to me.
Look at this mother effer. I mean, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I mean, I have only with gold, though. This is some ugly mother effing. I don't even know, dude. Like, it's just, I have nothing to even tell you about this. I mean, right now, it's obviously.
So no trades in gold, Ty? I mean, usually you're printing gold.
Yeah, you know what? But gold did not take my money today, because I promise you that gold probably would have taken my money if I would have touched it today. I knew better. This thing just had, I got on this morning and said, look, gold looks like absolute dog shit. I was on right around this time, and there's no clean levels. It was just hugging the point of control, not going anywhere. We already filled this move here from overnight, and so there was just no clean, I had no edge in gold today, so I decided to stay away from it. And trade elsewhere, and it was a good call, because this thing just had no movement to it at all. Looking at the higher time frames, though, we're sitting on top of the most important level for gold right now, 1660. It's been the line in the sand here for the last couple weeks. And 1680 to the upside. I talked about this area here. We're most likely not going to break through this daily consolidation until CPI comes out. And so, that's why one of the main reasons I didn't trade it today is because I figured we'd stay in this nasty chop zone until CPI. So, on the upside, 1680, I'll trade on the upside through 1680. On the downside, I'll trade through 1660, and then we'll get a nice continuation one way or the other based off the news. Oil had a nice move today. I called that
oil short.
I called the oil short out.
I called the oil short out.
Oh, no. It was right around, and I'm so pissed off. I am so pissed off. So I traded so poorly today. I was looking at oil right in here, and I shorted right at the top here as we were rejecting this area here. I shorted at that wick. And so I had an optimal short entry. It was looking great. We were heading close. It was getting close to PPI. I was already leveraged into pound yen. And so I was like, I'm not taking a fat loss on this shit. So I bailed it at break even. And this thing, I mean, man, I would have made some fucking money on oil shorts today. And it just was not my day today, but it was a good call out. Just didn't trade it very well because pound yen took my attention away from it today. But yeah, and on top of that, notice where we bottomed out at, which, surprise, right here is where OPEC announced the 2 million barrel per day production cut in November, and that's where the bottom of the day is. And to no surprise, that's where we were headed, because Russia comes out and says that, hey, we don't have to do a production cut. We're maintaining our levels because they're already under.
Right, they're already in a production cut.
They're already under the production cut. So, of course, where does it go? Back to the scene of the crime from that breakout, and that's where we wicked at today. Great short opportunity. The OPEC also came out and slashed the global oil demand for next year. Surprise. And so that's why they said, look, we need to do some production cuts. But everybody's, look, we can't do production cuts because we're already cut. So oil took a nice little dip on that. And yeah, I mean, so we'll see where it goes from here, because right now this 87 is really the line that it has to hold. If you're bullish on oil right now, it has to hold 87 if it has life in it. If it breaks 87, it's coming right back down to at least 79, maybe 76. And this right here is then going to be considered a fake breakout of this range. And then we're heading right back down to lows. So
Ty, pull up the 1 minute chart on oil today.
Yep.
Again, if you can. Oh, there you are. I'm looking at something else. So you see that wedge? Yeah, I got the same trend line drawn.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you had the flat top, and then they break it to go grab liquidity, and then they bring it back down. I mentioned to Simon, I said, I don't trade oil, okay, but if this thing breaks here, this is a short.
Yep.
And lo and behold, what a great short that would have been.
Oh, dude.
Tyler, I will advise you on oil next
time. I can't even just, dude, that just said see you, sayonara, goodbye, because that short just didn't even look back. That was beautiful. I mean, that's just frustrating seeing that, because it worked out exactly how I expected it to. I just did not participate on that today, so.
Well, the train left the station without you.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it goes. Instead, I was stuck in this dog shit pound yen.
See, and that's what I call opportunity call.
Yep.
It's like, if you're, I'm going to always equate it back to, dating and stuff. If you're with an ugly chick, okay, she may be keeping you warm, but guess what? All the other nicer chicks are going. You're stuck with the ugly chick, and you're never going to get the nice shiny chick that is oil. over there.
So moral of your story is don't get married.
Yeah, the moral story is I don't know what the moral
Keep
story
your options
is.
open.
I don't know what the moral of the story is, but all I know is my 15-minute pennant my 15-minute diamond pattern I just drew on the ES is basically breaking. So
Yeah. Well, here we go. Sayonara that too, but and then
well we're bound.
Of course Bitcoin. You know.
Bitcoin, what's that?
Yeah. It's dude. It's just. I don't even know what to tell you.
Dude, what's Bitcoin?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just look, yeah, I don't even know what the fuck to tell you on this one. It's just there's nothing to tell you, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Borderline said moral of the story is polygamy. Yes. Yes, sir.
The moral story is move to what, Utah or whatever. Where's
Chicago?
No, Chicago. Go to Chicago if you want to get killed. No, the moral of the story was wherever you're allowed to have multiple wives. That's where you go. All right, let's get back into the market. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. All right, buddy. Yeah, look, I mean, let's look at the ES, and I just took this trade for a short little gain here. This is the 200 moving average that we kind of on the weekly chart that I've been, hounding at you guys that there's got to be a defense. You can see we kind of pierced through here, got a nice low rally, pierced through here, got a nice rally, and now we're just kind of sitting here. We're about 15 minutes from FOMC, so you don't want to be in positions prior to that.
Yeah.
No, but what I was talking about was this. Well, here's the yield curve. I never really got finished through this stuff. But this is the 10-year yield curve. Still, we're off lows, but still pretty darn low. So you got to be suspect any rallies that we got going on now. But what I wanted to pull up was the 15-minute. God, I hate this one. Have I told you that? I think I've told you that. But if we pull up the 15-minute, let's see. Look at this, Ty. We had just drew this. We just drew this. You could have got yourself another nice little 70 cents here.
Yep, there it goes.
So there it goes. There it goes. So we had our pennant right here as far as our diamond, and now we got another one. This one, it's not as great. Not a great signal like this is here, but would have gave you a nice little trade on the breakout of that 15-minute station. But if we go back to the ES, it's kind of hanging right here, and now it's pretty much died. We got 14 minutes. We'll definitely be pulling up for you on that. But I want to go through the trades this morning that we had with our trader group. Okay, and we had some good trades. Had some really good stock trades. So you had upgrade to NCLH, cruise line. I don't trade cruise lines because I don't believe in them. They're floating death boxes. But you got both of those going. So Tyler, what stock do I trade when I want to trade travel? I trade Airbnb. That's like my go-to stock when I want to go trade travel. And look at the run it gave us in the morning here. Just great dip buy here. We actually got like 3 or 4 points in this trade here. It was a good one. It was a good one. So Airbnb right out of the gate, we jumped into that one. That was a decent trade. Another one that we had on the list, and matter of fact, it's if you kind of zoom out, Airbnb's kind of breaking out now as we speak. Look at this thing. So if you go to the daily chart, still stuck under the 50 moving average, and not something long term I would want to be in. But if you're looking at the 1 minute chart, this stock is a stock keeps on giving. It was a good trade. Hey, I want to everybody, guys, listen to me. I want to say thank you, Mark. Okay, Mark, you gave me desire to trade Meta today, and I made Meta. I did a trade today on Meta, and we made money to the upside 2 points. Okay, so and here was the thesis, Ty. The thesis for me. So, Mark, I made 2 points on Meta today. What about you, buddy? Did you have faith in your stock? That's what I want to know. So right down here, we took a dip buy. This is an area, this 127.50. It's an area I called out in our pre-mentor meeting. If we can get a dip buy into that, I think there's some good support from yesterday we were looking at. So, we took a stab at it, very, very short leash. After it had already printed down here, if it broke these lows, we were going to get out. And we were able to take 2 points up off this dip buy. So Mark was my inspiration.
Good job, Mark.
He's always telling me meta, 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 meta. And they had their investor day yesterday, which, by the way, I think was a disaster, if you ask me. $1,500 earphones. And, they're basically, Zuckerberg basically said it, they're competing with Apple. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're running a company, do you really want to point out that you're competing with Apple?
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, with this economy. So if you look at the daily chart, I mean, this stock is still to be shorted. You should keep on be shorting it. Just stay away. It's just, it's going to below 100. And it is the premium value trap there is out there that you can possibly have. I did want to give a shout out. I got all these shorts that are, remember we told everybody last week, short the solar.
Yep.
Tyler, look at this, baby. Our first solar short starting to work. Look at EMPH starting to work. Still in this MOSOS cannabis short, still printing that we shorted from way up here. This thing's going back down to 9. It was bullshit. Anytime you get a run up on a bullshit news event, such as Biden letting people out of jail, how the hell does that help? Okay, how's that help the cannabis industry?
Right.
I've told you guys, we've traded the cannabis stocks before. The only thing that you want to look at, if you want to trade cannabis to the upside, is if it becomes federally legal so that they can actually do banking with a bank instead of running around their cash in an armored car as it runs laps around the freaking United States.
Right.
That's all you got. You got these cannabis banks in armored cars running around. That's the bank for all these freaking things. So until that happens, states approving anything, people getting let out of jail so they can smoke more pot, no. Not going to happen. So anyhow, MOS still printing, still doing good. One, though, that I'm kind of mad at is this Boyle, Tyler. Me and Borlaug, man, we're getting skinned, but I'm not giving up, man. My stop loss is right here. So I'm actually positive in Boyle because of the fact that, I took some profits at 55 and 57. When it popped up in here.
You're on that gas.
I'm on that gas. Well, it's the relationship.
It's the same right.
Same scenario. So right up in here, we had a nice little run. And then I got, kind of got back in at 51, I think it is. So now sitting underwater. But that's why you take some profits, guys. Why you take some profits. I'm not going to let this formula. I am not, okay. I am not going to let this thing turn into a Paramount.
It's going to turn into your, what's that one? UAVS.
Oh, no. They don't even know about that one time. That was, 10 years ago? 20 years ago? It's out of business. Look, Guy.
No, UAVS.
Oh, UAVS.
Yeah,
baby. So if you want to look at one of my other losing trades from eons ago, this effort, I actually pulled up the account and still had the shares. I didn't even realize it. Remember, this was 2 years ago.
That was back in 18 or something?
18 we were trading it. Yeah, we were trading it in 18. So we didn't trade it up in the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is. But no, that's not.
No, that's not it. It was something... No, it's
Back
20.
in 18.
Go
It was,
back.
yeah, it was it was back here. It
Oh,
was back in here.
2017, right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was back in here. So one of losers. Loser. We all have our losers. You don't want yours to be your loser. Another, I tried to take a trade in Lucid. Did have one losing trade today, which I didn't have patience for, was Lucid. Aaron Decker in our group traded this positively, which I'm glad he made some money on this. I lost 10 cents, but it just didn't do what I thought it was going to do. So we got in at 13.30 and got out at 13.20 when it broke through VWAP in here. So not a bad loser. It just didn't do, and this is why you cut, guys. This is why you cut. You don't let it turn into a big loser, right, Ty?
Right.
No big losers. One that is did me pretty good was KHC. Pepsi had earnings. This had a really good day yesterday. Had 2 days of increased volume. I think if we didn't have the Fed, I think we'd be doing a little bit better in this one still. So KHC, not a bad, okay. Pepsi was on the list. Pepsi had decent earnings. They actually upgraded their guidance and stuff. But, as I mentioned in the pre-market meeting, when you're fighting through the 200, got to be careful with the stock, right? So this thing, nice trader, could have made some good alpha, could have made 3 points on this one. I did not trade Pepsi. Also, you got the relationship trade. Pepsi's up 4%. You have Coke, I think, is up 2.5%, or was up 2.5%. So they're going to be next on tap. Banks, man, we always trade banks before earnings, and they do well, right, Ty?
Yep.
JP Morgan got earnings on Friday. We got some good earnings stuff coming out on Friday. That's what we do. So this is like that Toys R Us trade. We used to trade Toys R Us every October, November, before they went out of business. But banks, we trade them a couple days prior to their earnings. They typically do well. JP Morgan could have made 3 points on JP. We had some other news. Biden's thinking about effing Russia with aluminum. So, of course, Alcoa getting this nice little spike up. So if you want, and you know how to do news events now, just draw the Fibonacci, right? And so, the top part of this news event to the bottom part of this news event. So you can kind of see where we are. And, the 50%. Oh, am I moving it? Oh, you know why? Because I did it twice because I hate it. There we go. Okay, so you can see the 50%. Look where it settled, Ty.
Yeah.
Look where it settled, So this is one that could have some legs in it. Alcoa, pretty decent trader. I should have got into that one. I'm really upset about that. Another one that's a pretty good trader for this one is CENX. This one again, kind of holding in on that 50% level, now back up towards highs. So these are the two that you would expect, do well. Nucor, also one that I kind of trade, got a little bit of a pop on it. I traded this one nicely throughout here, but it's kind of dying from a volume standpoint. So I'm kind of staying away from it. Banks now, banks basically, we're stocking the market is meta. Yeah, banks, with the inverted yield curve, don't make money. So I don't expect good earnings, but they typically trade up well before the earnings. We usually get a good trade out of it. Mo's like, we're stocking the market is meta. No, be careful. Mark will shoot darts at you. Para. Don't even bring up Para. I brought it up, but, look at that thing. I want to show you me and Borneland's thesis right in here. We thought it was going to go back up to here, so good that we cut. Yeah, thanks. Peggy, I didn't trade it today, but Peggy got some action going again. Look, gap above the 200. I love when stocks gap above the 200 high. I say it all the time. You had some other good, if you're looking for some other food plays too, real quick because we're getting ready to get into FOMC minutes, which we're going to bring to you guys. Hershey's, not doing too bad. Kind of, it's if it breaks out this consolidation, it can really get going. You traded Hershey's before. You have this Calm is another one, having a pretty decent day, up 3.8%. Macy's, I'm stalking Macy's. I think it's eventually going to get going. You have the finger motion here. Apron was another one of the hot ones that was moving earlier. Hold on, I thought Apron was moving. No, I must have had the wrong. No, it wasn't Apron. Oh well, I forget. We're getting ready to get into FOMC, so I don't want to look at stocks anymore. I gotta get ready to trade. So, let's pull up the ES. Let's zoom in here.
All right,
and let's gear it up, Tyler. Where did my news feed go? Nice. How am I supposed to make money when I don't have my news feed up? Got 30 seconds, so. Not expecting much. I mean, look, it's a clearing event to me. I don't think you're going to get anything out of this, especially when you have I think they run stops, though. My prediction is they're going to run the stops. And by the way, great call out, great plan we had today. We basically said on the open, they were going to run the stops and then drive it up. And what did they do, Ty?
Yep.
Ran the stops, drove it up.
4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, man. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Look at that move.
Yeah, for what? What are you moving on? Where are you going?
Oh, man.
Where are you going? What a bullshit move.
To be honest, I thought I was going to grab low stops from the downside, but this.
Yeah, I did too. To be honest, that's why I'm glad
upside.
I didn't. I'm glad I didn't trade it that way. What a non-event this thing is. I mean, come on. I'm just looking, trying to. I mean, this is such a non-event that, I can't. I'm not even getting news off of it.
Here we go. Boom.
Oh, now you're talking.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Look at this. Chop, 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 chop.
Yeah, I'm staying. I've already chopped. I chopped my shit up in this. I'm not chopping my shit up in this now.
Here
Well,
comes
you do have
Look at
NASDAQ.
that. Oh my God.
Look at that.
What the fuck?
What is going on with this?
Ew.
Fed officials, I guess I'll start reading this stuff, determined that they needed to adopt and maintain a more restrictive policy stance. No shit, Sherlock. So really nothing. At some point, would it be appropriate?
Yeah, no, nothing.
Slow the rate of increases while assessing the cumulative effects. So that is a positive thing that I definitely think. Let me see. All right. There you go. I took a small little scalp. Nothing. Are you seeing anything, Ty?
Shit, no.
Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, this is nothing. The appropriate to slow pace increases. So I think that may get some play. As far as that, that's the big, that rate there, appropriate to possibly slow increases. Here's the thing, guys. CPI tomorrow, 8:30. That's the main event. Tyler will be live on the show. I may join him. We'll see.
Yeah, baby.
Get some action in there. And then, Cleveland Fed predicting 0.3. They've underestimated 15 of the 19 reports. So I think it's going to come in hot again.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, you do have the used car and truck prices drop for a third straight month. The Manheim Manheim used vehicle index dropped 3% in September. That could definitely get some play into this. So we'll see if we'll see if that happens, right? But just stay out of it. Look, here's the game for CPI tomorrow. If it comes in less than 8% year over year, I think we get a nice little rally. If it comes in dramatically better, we'll get a 10% rally. If it comes in as advertised or hotter, I definitely think that could be an issue that we're going to see in the markets here. We see a sell-off. Look at the core. Core is more important to the Fed. It's supposed to come in at 0.4. I don't know, man. It's going to be a tough one to game, but rent's still going to be high. Shelter's a third of CPI. So I think we're still going to see a very hot CPI report. So just be careful how you trade it. My estimate, and I'll put it in Discord, Born Alarm, because I'm still kind of filtering through. I'm still trying to do. I didn't get a chance to do. I did pull up the used car Manheim report. I did pull up new cars. I got about almost a halfway done with what I was going through in my research. So I'll post it in Discord. But from what I'm seeing it to be hot. I think we come in 0.3% month over month, and I think our core is going to be pretty strong as well at 0.5. So that's what I'm kind of looking at right now based on what I looked at. I mean, gas prices in the beginning of the month were down pretty good, but then gas prices towards the end of the month, middle towards the end, I told you 19 out of the last 20 days, gas prices have gone up. And the CPI reports typically lean more towards the end of the month than the beginning of the month a lot of times in certain areas, because that's how they scoop their information. So we'll see. Not only do you have to worry about CPI, make sure you guys are watching Bank of England, Bank of England's Bailey, what the heck he decides he's going to do. But more barcoding, just quicker pace here. So stay at the chop.
Yes, sir.
We'll be on tomorrow morning, man. Come in tomorrow morning. We're going to trade CPI. Right, Ty?
Yep, I'll be on. Ready to kick some ass.
I'll be on with Ty. Let's trade some CPI, man. Let's make some money. Don't get caught up in this chop fest.
It's going to be a good show. All right, guys.
Awesome. All right, guys. Safe trading, man.
Have a good rest of your day. See you tomorrow.